A Lucky Day, 1924. An abridged literary retelling based on the classic Korean short story by Hyun Jin-geon. Part 1, A Fortune in the Rain. The sky had been threatening snow since morning, but no snow came. Instead, a cold, miserable rain drifted down over the city, half frozen and gray, soaking the streets until the ground turned slick beneath every footstep. For most men, such a day would have been unlucky. For Kim Chåmji, it became the luckiest day he had known in a long time. Kim was a rickshaw puller, poor even among the poor. For nearly 10 days, he had earned almost nothing. Each morning he had gone out with hope, and each evening he had returned with empty hands, wet clothes, and a stomach that gnawed at itself. But that morning, fortune seemed suddenly to remember him. First, a woman from the neighborhood hired him to take her to the streetcar line. Then, after he lingered near the stop and searched the faces of every passerby with pleading eyes, a well-dressed man asked to be taken to Dongguang School. 30 John from the first fare, 50 from the second. 80 John. To a rich man, it would have been loose change. To Kim, it felt like treasure. The coins lay in his palm with a small, bright weight. He could buy a cup of cheap rice wine to warm his throat. More than that, he could buy something for his wife. His wife had been sick for more than a month. Her cough had become so deep and harsh that it seemed to tear through her ribs. She lay at home, too weak to rise, too weak even to turn properly on her side. They had no money for medicine, and Kim, in his stubborn poverty, claimed that medicine only encouraged illness to return, so no doctor had come. No remedy had been tried. She simply lay there, coughing, starving, and fading. A few days earlier, after Kim had managed to buy a little millet, she had eaten it before it was fully cooked. Hunger had made her reckless. She had seized the food as if someone might steal it from her, and stuffed it into her mouth with both hands. By evening, she was groaning with pain in her chest and stomach. Kim had cursed her then. He had even been rough with her. But after his outburst, when he saw tears gather in her large, sunken eyes, his own eyes had burned too. For 3 days, she had been asking for Sir Long Tong, not even the meat, not even a full bowl, only the broth.
A little soup,
she had whispered.
just a little.
Kim had shouted at her for asking. What business did a woman who could not digest millet have craving rich ox-bone soup? Yet the truth was simpler and more painful. He could not buy it for her, but now he could. He could buy Sir Long Tong for his wife. He could buy porridge for their hungry 3-year-old son, K. Tong-yi, who cried beside his mother with the thin impatience of a child, who did not understand poverty or illness. The thought made Kim's heart feel full. Then fortune came again. As he wiped rain and sweat from the back of his neck and turned away from the school gate, someone called from behind him.
Rickshaw.
Kim turned. A young student stood there, poorly dressed for the rain and in a great hurry. His shoes were not even properly on his feet, and his clothes were already wet. He must have been a boarding student, trying to catch a train home for the holiday.
How much to Namdae Moon Station?
The student asked. Kim hesitated. It was a long way. The road would be muddy and cold. He had no proper rain gear. But those were not the true reasons for his hesitation. What troubled him was the strange fear that rose in his chest. Too much luck had come all at once. And then, like a voice carried through the rain, he remembered his wife that morning. When he had been called out for his first fare, she had looked up at him from her bedding. Her face was little more than bone and shadow, but her eyes were enormous, dark, and desperate.
Please don't go out today.
She had whispered.
Stay home. I am so sick.
Kim had answered roughly, pretending not to care.
If I sit here holding your hand, who will feed us?
He had hurried out. Behind him, her weak voice had followed.
Then come home early.
Now the memory clung to him. The student shifted impatiently.
Well, how much?
Kim opened his mouth.
1 and 50 John.
The word startled even him. It was an outrageous price. He had not asked such a fare in years, but once he had spoken it, the money began to shine before him. 1 and 50 John. More than twice what he had already earned. Enough for food. Enough for soup. Enough for one day to feel like a man not entirely defeated. The student frowned.
That is too much.
Not at all, sir.
Kim said quickly.
It is a long way, and on a rainy day like this.
The student looked toward the road, then back at Kim.
Very well, I'll pay it, but hurry.
Kim bent to the shafts of the rickshaw. At once his legs felt light. The rain still fell and the road was slippery beneath him, but he ran as if the mud could not hold him. The wheels spun behind him, gliding over the wet ground like skates over ice. His breath burned, his clothes clung to his body, but his heart beat with wild excitement. Today truly was a lucky day. And yet whenever the road curved toward his neighborhood, his steps faltered. His wife's voice returned.
Come home early.
For one terrible moment, Kim stopped in the middle of the road.
What are you doing?
The student cried from behind.
We'll miss the train.
Kim shook himself awake.
Yes, sir, yes.
He ran again. The farther he went from home, the easier it became to run.
Part 2, Fortune and Foreboding. At Namdaemun Station, the student paid exactly what he had promised, 1 won and 50 jeon. Kim held the money in his hand and could scarcely believe it was real. He bowed again and again to the student, who was young enough to be his son.
Have a safe journey, sir.
For a moment, Kim felt like a rich man. But once the passenger disappeared, the warmth of triumph began to fade. He was alone again in the rain, with an empty rickshaw rattling behind him. His sweat cooled. His wet clothes clung to his skin. Hunger twisted inside him. The coins in his pocket were heavy, but his body felt hollow. He thought of going home. Then another thought came. If fortune had followed him this far, why not wait a little longer? Another train might arrive. Another passenger might appear. Who could say that his luck was finished? He could not stand directly in front of the station, where the regular rickshaw men would chase him away. So he waited near the streetcar stop, wandering back and forth, watching the crowd. A train arrived. Passengers poured out. Kim noticed a fashionable woman with high-heeled shoes and a cape. She stood in the rain with a small suitcase, looking annoyed and proud. Kim approached carefully.
Miss, would you like a rickshaw?
She did not answer.
I'll take you cheaper than the station men.
He said, reaching toward her bag.
Where are you going?
She snapped her hand away.
Stop bothering me.
Her voice cracked through the rain like a whip. Kim stepped back, embarrassed. Soon she boarded the streetcar and vanished. But luck had not entirely abandoned him. One man, burdened with a large suitcase, had been left behind when the crowded streetcar pulled away. Kim hurried to him, bargained hard, and agreed to take him to Insadong for 60 jeon. Again the rickshaw grew heavy. Again Kim's body grew light. But after he dropped off the passenger, the strange lightness disappeared. His legs felt stiff, almost wooden. The image of home rose before him more clearly now. The dark room, the sick woman, the hungry child. The day's happiness began to sour. He hurried through the rain. By the time he reached Changgyeongwon, evening had begun to gather. The sky hung low and dark. His breath came hard. His heart beat not from running now, but from fear. The closer he came to home, the slower he walked. It was not calmness that slowed him. It was dread. He wanted to delay the moment of arrival. He wanted to keep for just a little longer the illusion that the day was still lucky. He looked around as if hoping someone would stop him, seize him by the arm, and save him from going where his own feet were taking him. Just then, a familiar voice called out.
Kim Chåmji.
It was Chae-sam, an old friend, stepping out of a roadside tavern. Chae-sam was broad, round, and cheerful, with a ruddy face and thick whiskers. Beside him, Kim looked like a bundle of wet sticks. Thin, yellow-faced, with hollow cheeks and a small tuft of beard under his chin.
You've been working inside the city, haven't you?
Chae-sam said.
You must have earned well today. Come in and have a drink.
Kim felt a sudden rush of gratitude. A drink, a warm room, a friend's voice. Anything was better than going home too quickly.
You look as if you've already had one.
Kim said, forcing a smile.
And why shouldn't I?
Chae-sam laughed.
But look at you. You're soaked like a drowned rat. Come in and dry yourself.
The tavern was warm. Steam rose in white clouds from a pot of chuo tang. Meat sizzled on the grill. The smell of pork, beef, pancakes, soup, and rice wine filled the air. Kim's stomach cramped with hunger. He ordered mung bean pancakes and soup. The first bowl vanished as if he had poured it into an empty well. The second followed. Then warmed Macaulay came, and he drank with Chaisam. The rice wine spread through his body like fire. His face flushed. His voice grew louder. His fear loosened its grip.
More.
Kim shouted.
Poor Ma.
Chaisam looked uneasy.
We've already had enough. This is costing money.
Money?
Kim cried.
Do you think I care about money today? I earned a mountain of it. Today is my lucky day.
He boasted of impossible earnings, laughed too loudly, and threw coins across the room as if punishing them. The tavern boy stared. Chaisam tried to calm him, but Kim only grew more excited. Then he began telling a story. He described the proud woman at the streetcar stop, the way she had slapped away his hand, the way she had cried, "Stop bothering me." Kim imitated her voice so sweetly and sharply that the whole tavern burst into laughter. Kim laughed with them. He laughed until tears came to his eyes. Then, suddenly, he began to sob. The laughter died. Chaisam stared at him.
What is it now?
Kim wiped his nose with the back of his hand.
My wife is dead.
The words fell heavily into the warm room. Chaisam frowned.
What are you saying?
She died today.
Kim said.
She is lying at home, and I am here drinking. I am a wicked man. I killed her.
He bent forward and wept like a child. Chisam's face changed.
Then we must go. Come on, let's go home.
But Kim pulled his arm away.
Dead?
He said suddenly, lifting his head.
Who is dead?
He laughed through his tears.
She isn't dead. She is alive. That miserable woman is alive and eating up my rice. I fooled you.
He clapped his hands like a mischievous boy. Chaisam watched him with growing fear.
Your wife has been very ill. You should go home.
She isn't dead.
Kim shouted.
I told you she isn't.
But even as he shouted, his voice trembled. He was not trying to convince Chaisam. He was trying to convince himself. At last, after finishing one more round, the two men left the tavern. The rain was still falling, steady and cold. Kim remembered the Sir Longtong. Even drunk, he remembered. He bought a bowl for his wife and carried it carefully through the darkening streets.
Part 3. The Price of a Lucky Day. The room Kim called home was not truly a home. It was a small rented servant's room set apart from the main house. He did not rent the house itself, only that one poor space, and for the use of water he paid won a month. He reached the gate with the bowl of Sir Longtong in his hands. The place was silent. Had he been sober, the silence would have stopped him where he stood. It was not the ordinary quiet of evening. It was deep, heavy, and complete, like the stillness after a storm has passed over the sea. There was no coughing, no rough breathing, no weak voice calling from the room. Only one sound came from within, the faint sucking of a child at its mother's breast. Kim stood for a moment. Then he shouted,
You foolish woman, your husband has come home, and you don't even come out?
His voice was loud because he was afraid. He flung open the door. A sour, sickening odor struck him. Old bedding, unwashed diapers, stale sweat, dirty clothes, sickness, and poverty shut up together in one dark room. He stumbled inside and set down the soup. Then, as if anger could protect him from fear, he roared at his wife.
Is lying there all day the only thing you know how to do? Your husband comes home, and you can't even get up.
He gave her leg a rough shove with his foot. The body did not move. The feeling that met his foot was not flesh. It was like wood. At that moment, little Ketangi let go of his mother's breast and began to cry. But even the cry was weak. His small face twisted, yet the sound seemed to rise not from his throat, but from the emptiness of his stomach. Kim stared. Then he rushed to his wife's side. Her hair was tangled around her head like an old bird's nest. He lifted her by the shoulders and shook her.
Speak,
He said.
Say something.
There was no answer.
Are your lips sealed? Speak.
No answer. His voice grew smaller.
Are you dead?
The word entered the room and remained there. Kim looked at her face. Her eyes were half open, turned upward toward the ceiling. They did not see him. They did not accuse him. They did not plead. They were simply empty. Then the truth came. Not all at once, but slowly, cruelly, like cold water rising around his chest. His wife was dead. The woman who had begged him not to leave that morning was dead. The woman who had wanted only a little Sir Long Tang broth was dead. Kim's anger collapsed. His face twisted. Tears fell from his living eyes onto her still face. He bent over her, pressed his cheek against hers, and clung to her as if warmth might return through the force of his grief. Beside them, the baby cried weakly. The bowl of Sir Long Tong sat untouched in the corner. Kim murmured against his wife's cold face.
I bought it for you.
His voice broke.
I bought so long tongue for you. Why won't you eat it?
No answer.
Why won't you eat it?
The rain whispered outside. Kim held the dead woman and rocked over her like a man who had lost not only his wife, but the last poor shelter of hope in the world.
How strange,
he whispered.
Today was such a lucky day.
And still the rain fell.
It's time to study new words in context. 1. Slick. Definition: smooth and slippery because it is wet. Example: the road was slick from the cold rain. 2. Chåmji. Definition: Chåmji was originally the title of a senior third-rank military officer in Korea. Over time, it came to be used as a casual, and sometimes slightly disrespectful, way to refer to an older man of no particular social status. Example: people called him Kim Chåmji, even though he was only a poor rickshaw puller. 3. Rickshaw. Definition: a small two-wheeled cart that a person pulls to carry passengers. Example: he pulled his rickshaw through the rainy streets. 4. Nod. Definition: hurt or troubled someone little by little over time. Example: hunger gnawed at him all day. 5. Lingered. Definition: stayed for a long time instead of going away. Example: the smell of soup lingered in the room. 6. Millet. Definition: a small grain that people cook and eat like rice. Example: the family had only millet to eat. 7. Sir Long Tong. Definition: a traditional Korean soup made by boiling beef bones for a long time. Example: he wanted to buy a bowl of Sir Long Tong for his sick wife. 8. Porridge. Definition: a soft food made by boiling rice, oats, or other grains. Example: the child ate warm porridge for breakfast. 9. Outrageous. Definition: very shocking, unfair, or unreasonable. Example: the price seemed outrageous to him. 10. Frowned. Definition: drew the eyebrows together to show worry, anger, or confusion. Example: Kim frowned as he thought about his wife. 11. Faltered. Definition: became weak, slow, or unsteady. Example: his steps faltered as he grew tired. 12. Foreboding. Definition: a strong feeling that something bad is going to happen. Example: a feeling of foreboding filled his heart. 13. Hollow. Definition: thin and sunken because of sickness or hunger. Example: her hollow cheeks showed how weak she had become. 14. Dread. Definition: great fear or worry about something that may happen. Example: he felt dread as he walked toward his home. 15. Tuft. Definition: a small bunch of hair, grass, or feathers growing together. Example: a small tuft of hair stuck out from under his cap. 16. Miserable. Definition: very unhappy, uncomfortable, or suffering. Example: the family lived a miserable life in poverty. 17. Sober. Definition: serious and calm, or not affected by alcohol. Example: his face became sober when he heard the bad news.
Comprehension questions. 1. Who was Kim Chåmji? Answer: he was a poor rickshaw puller who worked in Seoul. 2. Why did Kim think it was a lucky day? Answer: he earned much more money than usual by finding several passengers. 3. What illness did Kim's wife suffer from? Answer: she had been sick with a severe cough for more than a month. 4. Why didn't Kim buy medicine or call a doctor? Answer: They had no money, and Kim believed that medicine only made illness return. 5. What food did Kim's wife ask him to bring home? Answer. She asked for a bowl of sir long tong. 6. Why did Kim hesitate before accepting the student as a passenger? Answer. He remembered his wife's request for him to stay home because she was very ill. 7. Why did Kim finally decide to take the passenger? Answer. The fare was very high, and he wanted to earn as much money as possible. 8. How did Kim feel while he was taking passengers around the city? Answer. He felt happy about earning money, but he also worried about his wife. 9. Why did Kim stop at the tavern before going home? Answer. He met his friend Chisholm and spent some of his money on food and drinks. 10. What strange thing did Kim say while he was drinking? Answer. He first said that his wife had died, then laughed and claimed that she was still alive. 11. What did Kim buy before returning home? Answer. He bought a bowl of sir long tong for his wife. 12. What did Kim notice when he arrived home? Answer. The house was unusually quiet, and he sensed that something was wrong. 13. What had happened to Kim's wife? Answer. She had died before he returned home. 14. Why is the title A Lucky Day ironic? Answer. Although Kim earned more money than ever before, he lost his wife on the same day. 15. What lesson can readers learn from this story? Answer. Money cannot replace the people we love, and sometimes what seems like good fortune can end in great sadness.